Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of our podcast, Insight. And today we have another interesting topic to discuss about. And before we proceed, we would like to introduce our guest today. Sir, please, we would like to know you.
I am Reverend Green Albert.
Reverend Green Alba, thank you for
Welcome.
being here with us today. And today we're going to be talking about the impact of social media, the positive and negative impact of social media, and how we can navigate this complexity that we have today in our society and after the introduction of social media. So please, we would like to know what you have to say about this impact of social media in our society today. Do you think we are moving the right direction with how we use social media, or how can we use social media to get in the right direction?
Well, the social word there brings it to the society, and it's a higher form of connectivity. Before, if I have to send a message to my brother in America, I have to go to General Post Office, buy stamp, wait
Yes.
until Jesus comes for it to reach there, and my response will come. Social media has made it very simple, that connectivity there.
Yes.
So I think the social media is a nice thing, but the way we are going is not nice. I think we
Right.
are going extreme, and we need some moderation.
Yes, and that is why we have this podcast. Now, because of the effect, the damaging effect so far of this beautiful thing, this beautiful invention that we have with us, we are beginning to see that it's not actually solving our problems in the long run. So today we're going to be addressing on how can we use social media to do things. What are the positive things social media has given to us? Can you tell us the
Oh,
positive things that?
whoa. Connectivity,
Hmm.
at least it links people who are not together.
Yes.
Now I can talk to you when I'm in my house. Education, I happen to be one of the people enjoying the education part. I've done
Right.
so much courses online. Um, People earn money from social media. Oh my God, there is so much to mention.
Yeah, like you heard him say, there's so much to mention about the positive things that social media has given to us. But like they always say, sir, prevention is better than cure. Now, I think, like you said, so much to mention from the positive things, but the negative things seem to have much more to mention as to what
Oh,
social media is doing today in our lives. Like
yeah.
look at society, look at the depression cases, the immoralities that we have, the different kinds of things that were never so from the beginning that social media has, brought closer to us. Can we just hear from you, tell us these negative things that social media has caused in our society today?
I would say that the social media on its own has not brought a negative thing, but the way we use and the approach we use,
Mm.
the way we approach the use of the social media and what we do in the social media has brought so much damages.
Mm.
They have brought negative influences, excess greed, super immorality, abject insensitivity,
Mm.
negligence to values and norms, irreality,
Mm.
elusiveness instead of what is real.
Mm.
So much deceptions on words that we would have originally used. It's the
Mm.
social media that have taught these people that love is sex and sex is love. But we know
Mm.
these two things are not the same.
Mm.
So it has done much more damages. And above all, our children are no longer reasoning well. That is to say, their mental health has been tampered with
Mm.
through the social media.
And that calls for a serious attention
Sure,
because, like what he said, what social media has done, not that social media in itself
it's the
is
evil,
the evil, but
but
how
the
it's being
use and the
used.
approach.
Yes, because when you look at social media today, someone will post, you see them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and all these places. They will say, people, don't be depressed. Don't believe, always see what people post on social media. Most people are just lying. The reality they're showing there is not, is illusion or is painted. The
Sure.
real reality is behind the scene.
Sure.
And if you go by that, you find yourself in, like I always say, a black hole, an endless dive for.
You
So
keep falling.
yes, you keep falling, So, but today we want to help the audience. We want to give them information, empower them onto how to utilize the social media, turn the negative effects around that it could have, and promote positivity. Do things that will bring about positive results in a society. Looking at that, how do we approach this?
Well, first of all, we need to identify one problem with social media:
Okay.
addictiveness.
Mhm.
The sense of reward that comes from what we do in social media makes us push forward and we want to do more. That brings addiction. The how will start from our approach towards things.
Mm.
When you were talking, you said the things they show us, some of them are not real.
Yes.
You get to the social media, you see a girl who never had a good phone, using Nokia Basala phone, but she will borrow phones and show you I have iPhone 15. Now, our children are moving for what they see the social media influencers use, who they call role models. If your role model is rolling forward, you have a future.
Yes.
But when your role model is rolling backwards, you don't have future. You're living in the past and you're pursuing a past.
Yes.
Now, because we know that most of these things are not real, I think our how, first of all, is asking ourselves the questions. These things I want to believe or I want to do, of what use is it now? How long will this use last? What will be the future effects of this use? The normal man will say, before you act, think twice. But I don't believe in thinking twice.
Okay.
Thinking twice is, should I do it? Should I not do it? That ends it. That's open-ended questions. What about, should I do it? What will be the benefit of doing it? Will the benefit be only for me? What about the society?
Yes.
Will other people benefit from me doing it? Will there be a side effect of me doing it in time to come? Will this effect I am enjoying now last long? I'm only thinking one side. I've got a lot of questions. So what we need to do is to ask ourselves questions before we start diving into. If you go to the swimming pool, you see someone coming out through the stairs and you see someone jumping in from the height and someone else is touching it and someone is matching the feet into the water, the foot in the water. Now, everyone is somewhere. Someone is coming out. Someone is going in. The people who have been here, a lot of them want to come out, but they have become addicted. And somebody wants to jump in without remembering that there is that addiction. So our how should be, what do we do to reduce this addictive effect of the social media? How do we handle this?
Right. Now, looking at that, you are talking about how do we do it? Now, it still leaves us with, we need information.
Okay.
Yes, we need information. How do we do it? How do we do it? That means there is something that we need to know.
Okay.
Yes, because social media is like, you're talking about a swimming pool, and I will also say social media is like diving into a deep water that you think you have the strength for it in a while, but after a while you lose the strength.
It eats you up.
It's almost drowning you. So now that we have few individuals that social media has not actually entirely drowned, what will these individuals who are about to jump in do? How do we go about it? How do we manage these things in our society to get the best results?
Okay. When I was talking about the social media, that it's not the problem, it's the approach.
Yes.
Then we need to start controlling use, controlling approaches. And then we need to start from the children, because I know from our 15, 16 years, they've gone mad already. Parents at home would always give their children an Android phone to play with. An error. In my own dictionary, a very big error. I spoke in a conference. I will not mention the place. While I was talking about pornography in children. A woman stood up and opposed me. I was the conference speaker. I was invited all the way from Onitsha to the place. Somebody opposed me. So there's no need fighting. I wanted her to give me her premise. And how is this impossible for children of 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10 years to masturbate? So I asked her, what do you do for a living? She said, I'm a banker. When do you come home? Around 7, around 8, 9, sometimes 11 in the night. What does your husband do? He's a doctor. Does he respond to emergencies? Yes. You have a house girl? Yes. How long do you use your phone in the night? So once I come home, what am I doing with the phone? I just have to rest so that when I get to office, I can use phone. Do you have a child? Yes. Boy or girl? Boy. Where is he? He's here. Let me have the child. How old is the child? 5 years old. Come. I asked the woman, now tell me, do you browse pornography? She said, where do I have the time? I'm married. What am I doing with that? I went to the phone, went to the history. I went in to see that somebody has repeatedly been deleting things from the history. So I went to things that are deleted from the history. I found out 118 pornographies deleted that same day from the previous night. So I asked her, does your son use your phone? She said, he uses it to play game. And I called the son, took a look in his eyes. I'm a practicing psychotherapist. I found something. I told the woman, your son has been masturbating even at 5. She said, it's not possible. We asked the boy in a language he will understand. He said yes. Now, this problem is not the boy's fault. It is the woman's fault. How did it start? You give him phone that is internet on. And while he's playing game, something pops up. He looks at it. So the pops, the ads that come in are the suggesting factors here.
Yes.
So if we must control this, there are parts made for children, academic parts that are not connected to the internet.
Yes.
And even if I want to give my child a pad, which I don't give them my Android phone, I may be local or traditional when I sound like this. Whatever they do it before me. Even if it has to be, I need to be there. Like you said, give attention. We must give attention to our children. What is he doing now? Why is he doing that? We all know that whenever a child stays quiet for 10 minutes, something is cooking. So we need to give our attention to wherever they are, however, whatever and however we may look at it. No house help can help you keep your child the way the child should be.
Right.
The social media is a problem now because of the approach and how we use it. What we need to do is, number 1, monitor the use in our children. Number 2, influence the children through our own use of the same social media.
Right.
There is no how I will be using my phone for 5 hours through the night and my son is looking at me without him learning to use for 6 hours. He will certainly mutate his own.
Yes.
So when we come home, let us monitor the use of the social media.
Yes.
And if we must use it, there is something I normally do. Sometimes I will tell my children, come and see, come and see. Like one day, I saw a video of a young boy who was touching things while he was passing. He touched one metal and got electrocuted. I called them and said, come and see. Do you see this? He touches things. If you avoid touching things, you won't be shocked. Now, that is bringing them into one reality. So they've learned from it. What do we have there? People wake up in the morning and say obscene things. And no social media handle blocks obscene speeches. If you want to preach, sometimes they will tell you are violating their policy. But if you want to say spoiled things, you can never violate their policy. That is a sign to show that the content of the social media has not come to fix us. It has come to spoil the generation so that we'll have a senseless dead generation in time to come. So parents should monitor the use in our children.
So that means your view here about what you just said now, there's a perspective at which you touched now. You said that even when you want to, like you say, preach, right?
If I want to talk to them, I still use what is there to teach them so that they will
Yes,
learn.
we're talking about something about to preach or something, word of God, that they will tell you you're violating
Yes,
the
yes.
community. You see, I mean, viewers, like everyone listening, I think this is a problem now.
Yes.
Why would you say that someone is violating the community standard or whatever they use, or whatever word they use there? But we have seen that the other ones that are not violating the community standard are not helping the children, are not helping society.
Yeah.
So it leaves us with the users and the providers.
Yes.
Are the providers, do they actually want this thing to bring a positive outcome in society, or is it just about the money, the business of it? If it's about the business of it, then what does it leave us, those who really want to protect their children or the future generations to come, from this damaging effect? What does it mean? Does it mean that we should not engage in social media anymore? Because it appears that it's not actually, they're not helping us on this side.
If you don't engage in social media anymore, in the next 5 years, you will be in 1432. So your own past will be the past participle of the past participle. So you live in the past, past. If you jump into it the way it is, in the next 5 years, you are 80 years ahead in the doom. We would be using the social media. But I think the information we need is that the providers have no good intention. That is the truth.
One.
My daughter, when she became 6, I opened a Facebook page for her. She preaches every day. Every day that comes to light, I must throw one preaching. After 5 months, she stopped having friends but followers. Her followers became 2,500. I woke up one morning and saw a message that she has violated the community policy.
Imagine.
So I sent a query, which policy? That the words she's saying are so hard for the community. The child was 6 years and all she has been doing is preaching. And all the things, I still saved them. I sent the query again. Let me know the exact thing she has said that is bad. The next thing I was told is that she can never have a Facebook username with that Gmail till now.
Imagine.
I started posting her in one of my own Facebooks. Before you know it, the followers went up. That user was caught till today. Now, that is to tell you. Let me use the word I would use as a priest, that the devil is sitting in the social media.
Okay.
Once he sees that there is a way people will learn Christ and the truth and morality, we are Africans that believe in norms and values. Once this devil sees you want to go back to it, he will cut you so that what the society will see is what is bad. But let's look at it. Girls will open their body and snap and video. It will not be removed.
It's not violating the
They
community
will
policy.
say words that are not good. It will not violate anything. But when you say what is good, you have violated. So if what you're saying that is good is violating a certain policy, it means that policy is against what is good. So we should make our children understand. It is not having more followers that counts. You may have followers and have money. But those following you, where are they following you to? Yes. They are pushing you to your doom, a tomorrow that you keep crying for having. So we should moderate the use of the social media in our children, monitor what they are doing in the social media, and as well, show them example.
Yes.
By making them know what we are doing there.
Now, let me add one thing to what you said. You are talking about violating the community policy. Why is this social media providers not telling those dressed in immorality, like you said, the devil is sitting wherever the state of social media? They are not. Okay, I'm not even talking to you now. I'm talking to those who are listening. They are not even helping your children to see the right things on social media. And that should give you concern that, like you were saying, talking about the mother that was almost swearing that a 5-year-old child would never do a thing like that. The child from the ages of 5, like I think from 6 to like 13, are the most, their brain is very most curious.
That's the age of curiosity.
Yes, very most
inquisitivity.
Curious. Yeah, and that is like this is information for the listeners because he is already informed already that most great inventors, scientists, researchers of the world who discovered who they were was between these age brackets. And for a child to find their true potentials or discover a bit of themselves or a fraction of themselves is within that age bracket if they are focused within themselves to understand what is of their interest. Now, if you hand in social media to the child at that age, it severes attention.
Yes.
It severes attention and leaves it in multiple fractions of itself, that the child will not even have a problem with not paying attention to one thing at a time, but not paying attention to multiple things, because nothing will be enough to keep your attention. This keeps your attention. Now you're looking for nothing to give your attention. So the child is living the best time of his life to develop the best part of his brain in things that is damaging his brain in the near future to come, because the child will be left with this attention problem. Like, I know that you do give people psychotherapy, different forms of therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen young adults, teenagers who are approaching the adult age, who come to you, I guess, to tell you about how their life is a mess, how they cannot
Yes.
even pay attention,
Yes.
how they cannot even deal with this or deal with
Yes.
that. Could you even tell us more about this? Give us some things.
It's a very long story.
The ones you can
It's
just share for
big.
now.
Apart from children having ADHD,
Mhm.
attention hyperactivity disorder, social media influences and affect our teenagers and our early adults. I have one today I am dealing with who is finding it difficult to retain anything in the brain. The reason is because your dopamine in the brain, it enjoys rewards,
Yes.
pleasure. So that thing that makes you feel good feeds your dopamine. And once it is highly fed, then you can hardly reason pain again. Just like we would say in the Broca area 24 of our brain that has pleasure and the pain. When the pleasure is much, pain will go down. So you can't struggle to read. You cannot do that. But you can attend parties. You can eat your best food, watch movies for a long time, play game, get rewards in the game. All these things are pleasures. And this pleasure will seal your intellect. This is what is happening. So most of them don't even know what they are doing again. We need help.
That means what you're just telling me indirectly is that this calls for attention, because that means what you're trying to say is the best of discoveries, inventions of all time, we're living in it, because I don't think that there is more to be invented, because those who are already using those inventions are having issues. Majority of the youth who are consuming this pleasure-seeking adventure will never focus to invent more things that will help someone in the near future, because they're about the pleasure.
Yes.
So that means the future to come, there's a problem.
It's a problem. I'm sorry to bring in something that is not social media.
All right.
I'm a researcher. I found out that one of my students who is writing his project submitted an AI product. From the word I to Z is AI. So after looking at it, I called him. I told him I'm an AI detector because I love reality. Why did you use AI to write? He said, writing like this is the old-fashioned way. And that's what we see in adverts. There are ads that will tell you, are you still doing your project in the old-fashioned way? What is happening? If we face AI, our senses will die. We will depend solely on AI. Someday, we will be lost. We will only find ourselves in the AI. It's the same thing with the social media. If all you do, some husbands are marrying their wives with the social media model. Some women can't cook in the kitchen except there is a model they are looking at and they are cooking. Some boys don't live their lives. I saw a boy they brought to a clinic. He drank cloves soaked in water, plenty cloves soaked in water, because he wanted to enhance his sexual urge or activity or erection or whatever you may call it. And he saw that in social media. He resulted back in, he was brought to the hospital. When they were treating and all they were doing, fortunately, the chief in the hospital knew me. So he called me, he said, is there a psychological way of bringing down this effect? We had to allow the pharmacokinetics to finish happening. So all the chemicals, and after every reaction, we got talking. He said, that's what I saw on social media. Look at our girls. When a girl is dressed, her tummy is not seen, her breast is not seen, her buttocks is not seen, and her pals are not seen. She's not satisfied because the social media models look like that.
Yes.
Now, the generation to come is already dead before coming. They have already died at landing.
Because I understand automation a little. artificial intelligence automation. And I found out one time when I was looking deep into it, I found out that these automations that we have are the best data collected from the best minds
Yes.
that we are actually teaching these AIs to give back
Yes.
to us.
Yes.
Now, which means that if we rely solely on these things that the AI is giving to
No
us,
more minds
it's
coming up.
weakening the brain power to
Yes.
do more things.
Yes.
Because people do not know that this AI are relying on those automating it to give us those results it's giving it to us.
Yes.
So even the AI is acting at the level at which those who programmed it
Yes.
kept it at. So that means if we remain there and AI have to decide our lives, that means we are left with a generation who's going to be zombies.
We are going to the zombie world already, because those who feed it have known that we are now addicted to the AI. Now they will start feeding the AI what to tell us. Let me give you an example. 16 years ago, I was researching on masturbation. All the information I got from Google, Wikipedia, ask.com, Yahoo, justice.com, all of them wrote 97% that masturbation is not a right thing to do. But after writing a paper, pornography, the pit and pathway to hedges, 11 years later, I've not published it. I decided to go and make those researches again. Do you know what I found? All the things I was told are wrong, I was now told they are right. And even pastors like me would come and tell you that masturbation is a way you express yourself. What's the place of sexual intercourse between husband and wife? I am a counselor, licensed. I'm a psychotherapist. And some of my colleagues will tell married people, get pornography so that you will learn sex from the pornography. I'm a video editor. I can edit your pornography to be what it was not.
You see?
Now, we have left reality. We've entered into this illusory fantasy called the social media. May I tell you that there are times a preacher does not know what to say. He will ask AI to give him topic and Bible quotation, and the AI will feed the preacher. He will preach the word of AI, not the word of God.
Yes.
Call me a local man. I'm comfortable. In the UK or London, a church has launched first church service conducted by AI from beginning till end.
Imagine.
And people were clapping. Where is it leading us? Someday an AI will conduct communion. We are dying in the hands of this machine they gave us to kill us. We better be careful now.
Yes.
Soon, you will stop going to hospital to check your BP. And to us, it's an advantage. Your phone is checking your BP. Thank God for this innovation. But do you know where it is driving us? We will throw away the stethoscope and sphygmomanometers. Throw away everything, depend on our phone to check it for us. Someday to tell you that the app needs updating. One day you will update to a point where they will tell you can no longer update it until a chip is in your body. Zombie.
Yes.
That's where we are heading. Let us be wise now. The things we use are good. But let us take it easy. Parents, monitor your children. Moderate their use of the social media. Show them example by the way you are using it. It is better for couples at home to know that when I'm browsing, my wife is browsing at a time. The children are there. I should call up a discussion from what I'm browsing so that they will come together and see what I'm browsing. And tell your wife to do the same. Your children will now see that when mom and dad are browsing, they are browsing to teach us. But when it is this, I'm pressing, my wife is pressing, my son is pressing. Thank you for the information you're getting. But this information is our deformation. I will end by telling every parent at home, when you get everything and lose your children, you have lost yourself. I have 4 children. I don't have future. They are the future. I don't have anything I'm planning to get again. I've got them. If I lose one of them, I have lost myself. My plan, my pursuit, my progress, my success, everything I want is in the lives of these 4 children. Whatever thing I show them becomes the norm. If I show them social media, I will hand them over to their destruction. Let us be wise.
Thank you very much, Reverend. And now let's listen to the call. I don't know if they call it, if I should use the word deal breaker. I want to tell those listening this. Your social media is becoming less real. because from the information I have, or from my understanding of automation now, you find out that they are integrating the social media and AI together. That means an AI will send your child a friend request, and your child will be talking with an AI. I wouldn't know it's not a real human.
Yes.
And what the AI will be too accurate to mislead your child. Now, this is 99.9% accuracy that the AI are exhibiting today. So, which means that we can't solely trust on what this social media and AI is bringing to us. We need to return back to our conservative way of life. Put eyes to the ground and touch grass. Face the reality that we have before us. How do we even develop our minds? We have to detach ourselves from the distraction and misleading environment that the social media has created, and connect back to reality.
Sure.
Because that is how, because like a child, when I was growing up as children, I understood the power of our creativity as a child. I will bring that in to wrap up today's episode. I noticed that as children playing around the compound, playing around nature, their intuition and curiosity was empowered and heightened. The child does things that they weren't told. They were trying to discover something. They look at something, he goes outside to replicate that thing. He puts his own human and mental effort to achieving that thing. The child is not resting until he builds this car to his taste, he builds that house to his taste, he draws this thing to his taste, but now AI is doing everything. So it's weakening our human capacity and our mental capacity. So in this light, we are coming to a wrap of this episode. Like you can see, we are just starting. And which means that you stay tuned for more, because we have Mr. Reverend more often to share things with us. We are not done milking him. We will still milk you more. Please permit us to milk you.
And the cow will not be good to my milk not be finished.
Oh, you see, and that's to our benefit and to the benefit of the users. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and also comment anything you feel like we can discuss, any input you have for us to talk about next time. We really appreciate that.
We will also like you to argue with us. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Your argument will make us explain more.
Everything is
Argue.
welcomed. Everything is welcome. Thank you very much, and see you next time.